Another package came in, and this one is packed very well. And it should be, because it is pretty valuable. First of all, we got this nice little socket here, which is a SIM socket. Nice. We got a bit of packing material. And in here is something that was missing in my collection. And that is, you can already see it, an A4000. For all uninitiated, this is an Amiga 4040. And we will take a very close look at it in a minute. So here it is. And I bought this on eBay. Doesn't even fit the camera properly. It has an 040 card, CD drive, floppy disk, which is not the original, but that is okay. It is scratch free as it looks. It's very heavy, and we have stuff in the back that seems not to be okay in here. This is just the standard stuff. Let me see where the screws go. Here's one and here's one. I think that is it. That's it screw-wise. So let's take a look inside. Just two tiny screws. This is all, really? Okay. So let me strap in so that nothing gets hurt here. This is one compact and tight machine. And we have what looks like an IDE controller here, which is connected to the CD-ROM drive, and I'm not sure if it's also connected to the disk drive. We have memory in here. Let me show you. Down there. And we have, one of these SIM sockets seems to be broken because it's held in by cable ties, this module here. So the seller was friendly enough to send a replacement to put in there. We have a battery here. The board looks to be in very, very good condition. As far as I can see, there's no corrosion on there, which is very unusual. We will take a closer look at all of this. And I've never opened or even seen an A4000 up close, so yeah, that's a first. This is an ST3290A. According to the backside, this should be a 120 megabyte disk, but it says here 261.3 megabytes. So they actually had the correct number of megabytes on the drives back in the day. These cables don't look too good. I think they should not be up here. Well, I think we just plug it in and see what it does, if it actually works, because it was sold as working. I'm curious to see if it actually works. So other than the 3000, this one does not have a flicker fixer. If you want to connect VGA, you have to use one of these RGB to VGA things. And yeah, that plugs just into your standard RGB port. Not sure if it actually works like this on a 4000. As I said, never had one. I will tell you what I paid in a second. So what's very interesting is that the 4000 has the ports, the mouse port and joystick port on the left side. The 3000 had it on the right side. But the CD32, which is the same generation as this, has it also on the left side. So, fun fact. Fun fact. This, and I have to plug in the OSCC so that we can actually see something. Let's OSCC if we see something. Okay, see. Not funny. Do we have an image? We have an image. Nice. Let's fire it up. Now we have massive activity in here. But will it boot? black screen is there, which is good, I think. Not sure. Does it just take a while? I don't know. There's no disk drive clicking, nothing. That's not good. Let's try again. Now we don't even have a black screen. Great. That's not good. This was sold as working. So let me see how this works here. So this card, I think, is just for the CD-ROM, so I will just unplug this for now. Let's take this out. And another RAM socket just broke. Great. Now let's see what happens if I just push down on these two here. If this changes anything. Nope, does not seem to change anything. Awesome. I have the 4000 on the bench. It's opened, and as you can see, it's pretty much in pieces. Pieces scattered all over the place here. I did remove the IDE controller, which is a tandem CD IDE by gbs-c Büro Automation AG, Zorro 2 card. And this was connected to this CD-ROM right here, which I have to reattach. Didn't test it yet. One of the SIM sockets here is broken, and on the 4000 it's like this, that this thing right here is chip RAM. So the first one closest to the riser card, and all the other is fast RAM. So I now have 14 megs of RAM because this stick right here won't stay in here because this clip here is broken off and the clip is lying in there somewhere. I plan to replace the OG hard drive, which is this one here, an ST3290A, 261 megabytes, with this here, this CF card IDE solution, which will then go in the back of the machine. I can take it out and put it back in if I want to. Did remove the front panel, and I noticed that, well, this is a little yellowed. You can see this on the side. This is the power button, which goes on here, and then this rod pushes against this, like on the 3000. And it's kept in place with this thing here. This is pretty yellowed, as you can see. That is the original color. And this has an interesting mod, which I didn't notice at first, because it has 3 additional LEDs here, and it's done so well that I didn't even notice that it's not stock. But it's an extra board on here, soldered on here. So this is a power LED, HD LED, and these 3 are extras for whatever. And the cables are right here. It's missing the key lock, but I happen to have an old desktop case which seems to have just the right sized key lock. Not sure if it fits, we will see. That would be interesting. Other than that, the machine wouldn't boot at first, and that was due to the CPU board, which is right here, just hanging off like this. It wasn't plugged in correctly. And this is the A3640 board, Ref 3.1, and it's a 25 megahertz 68040, if I'm not completely mistaken. Yeah, and it didn't have these standoffs. I just put these in here so that it can rest here. And there are extra 4 holes on the main board to attach this to, but I'm not willing to get out the board yet. I have ordered fresh ROMs, so these go in here, 3.2.2 ROMs. Right now we have 3.0 ROMs in here, and this is A4000 Ref B. And when I did put the card in correctly and pushed it down, the machine actually booted, which is good because it was sold as working. And you can see now there's no flex here in this card. It's just sitting rock solid on here. This thing here has this rod here, which attaches to this, and there are 2 clips on here, or 3 clips. Card didn't sit incorrectly, so it sit like that somehow, and it was pretty crooked. But you can use these here, and these actually have to go over the card. So the card goes in this little slot there, and then you have a rock solid riser card, which mine wasn't, and now it is. So like this. If you screw this in, there's no moving and nothing. And mine was pretty floppy, so that's good. We have floppy cable for 2 floppies actually. We have an IDE cable for 2 IDE devices. I have this extra IDE controller, so I can theoretically put up to 4 IDE devices in here. We have a VATA replaced, and if we take a closer look at the board, let me grab the camera. So if we go in here, you can take a closer look at it all. Under there's the 040 crystal is sitting in here, was also very loose. There's a memory. This is chip mem, and these are the 3 fast mem. And there's this broken off clip here. It's lying in there right now. IDE controller. And this board is beautifully clean. It doesn't seem to be any kind of damage. So someone did replace this battery just in time, which is great. Very happy with the buy, and especially with the price. And I will get to the price in a minute, because these things are not cheap. But I was very, very, very lucky. The seller, his name is Jonas. He put 4,000 on eBay at the same time as an auction. And from a seller perspective, if you're a seller, don't do this. Why? It's pretty simple. There's an amount of people who want to buy an A4000 at a given time. And if there's just one 4000, all these people go and bid on this one 4000. If you put in 4 4000s, which end closely in the same time, about a minute or 2 away from each other, then this amount of people divides on these 4 machines. So yeah, you can see what happens there. The price will go down significantly. So this machine, as it sits here, which is an 040 A4000, in Germany goes for around 2.5 to 3,000 euros in this condition. I will retro-bright this front here, and I will show you the result in a minute. This machine in this condition, which is close to perfect if you invest a little work, is just that. And I paid a whopping, drum roll, 955 euros shipped to my door. This is insane and amazing, and it's a great price, and I'm really happy to get it for this price. And I wouldn't have paid more than 1,000 because, well, it's still an investment, and $1,000 is $1,000, and it's not a machine I need, but it was a machine I wanted. And I will sell other stuff I have just to recoup the money for this year, and I will keep this year in the collection because it's just a perfect machine. You couldn't wish for a better machine than this. So thank you, Jonas, for selling this to me and to all the other, I hope Amiga fans. I'm pretty sure some of these 4000s will show up on eBay very soon again. This one won't. This one will stay in the collection. You will see a lot of videos with this. This will replace my A1200 with the 030 card, which I have in my Checkmate case, my Checkmate 1500 case. Yeah, so I will have paid for this by selling other machines, and this is great. This is just great. It's a 4000. I'm very happy, and you will see this machine a lot. I will put in either a Gotek or second drive in here. So there's this cage here which slides in like this. is then screwed in from the front. And this is an FZ357A drive, also a bit yellowed, so I might actually go and retrobrite this too. And if I'm not mistaken, I have a second one of these, which would be great, because then I would have two identical drives. And these are HD drives for the Amiga, which is even better. And you can attach 880K drives. You have to switch a jumper on the board then. Yeah, and it works. Drive works, hard drive works, boots into Workbench, just as you would expect. As I said, I didn't test the CD-ROM drive, but you can emulate a CD32 with this, which is also great, because I theoretically don't need a CD32 then, but I will still keep it because it's an Amiga and I want them all. I want them all. So let me go and retrobrite this A4000, get the lock for this, and I really hope this lock works because I couldn't find one of these locks anywhere on the internet. So I have this case standing around here for a long, long time. Let me show you. It's right over here. And as you can see, there is this little lock. And this is an XT case. That's my 2000, which we have seen in a video. And Mac Pro. Here's other stuff. Some Macs which you might not have seen yet. Yeah. And my Raspberry Pi build arcade Bubble Bobble themed. There are the boys. There are parts which I need from time to time. Okay, so let me retrobrite this and then I can put this all back together and we can boot it up and see what it does. I have to wait for the kickstart ROM, so I have to take it all out again because you have to remove this to actually get the drive cage out, and the drive cage sits here and you can't pull the card unless you have the drive cage out. So yeah, there's always something, and that is that. I did retrobrite the front of the 4000 and did a few modifications, but I still have more to go by. So let me show you. So I bought the manual, the original A4000 manual from Commodore. I know these are available in electronic form, and yeah, I used that, and still I like paper. I have fresh kickstart ROMs, 3.22. I have an M.2 SSD in a SATA case, so we'll see if this works. I also have an adapter for that. So this adapts this to IDE, and you plug this in here. Then you have your standard 40-pin IDE plus power, and that should give you kind of a 3.5-inch disk drive. Not sure if it works, we will see. I have this here. This is a 128 gig gotta go faster RAM expansion, which should give me 128, not gigs, max, more fast RAM. Nice. And last but not least, we have this right here, which you may have seen in a different video. This was part of an A2000 I bought. And this is a Vector Falcon SCSI card with a hard drive on it. Not sure if this hard drive works. I couldn't get it to work in my 2000. You can also add zip RAM. Then you have a RAM expansion, fast RAM expansion. And it has an external SCSI port, and that is what I'm going for. I may actually not use this hard drive and instead just use the external SCSI connector, just to have a SCSI port if I need one. Not sure if I need one, but oh well, you can never have enough SCSI ports on an Amiga, I think. Also bought one of these DIN to PS2 connectors, which should allow me to use my A2000 and 3000 keyboard on this machine, which has this connector here. And this is just a standard PC DIN to PS2, and that should work because it's pin compatible. So let's open this baby back up, because I did put it back together because I just want to see what it looks like. retro brighted. I can show you one more thing. Let me grab the camera. As you can see, there is a hole now where the key lock was. And I took that and I put it into the 4000, and you will see this, I guess, at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that. And now let's open this up. Here we are back in the 4000. This is the front, this is the back. Problem is we have to get all the stuff out to put in the kickstart ROMs, because the kickstart ROMs are under the drive cage here. So yeah, that's fun. And to get the drive cage out, which is, by the way, held in by screws in the front, so we have to remove the plastic cover, which is super brittle and not the greatest of all ideas Commodore ever had, I would say. Yeah, so let's do that, and let's remove all the stuff I did put in here days ago, because it took about a week for all the stuff to get here, like the kickstart ROMs and the RAM expansion. This is not even plugged in, I think. Yeah, it's just sitting there happily. Let's see if I can get this out without breaking it. Not so sure about that. Push plastic things together to make this work. It's absolutely horrible. Oh, I did it. Wow. Okay, that went better than expected. I did remove all these unnecessary cables here because I don't have anything to show on these LEDs. Ah yeah, and we have to take the drive cage out first to get the cables out, which is also nice. And then we get the drive cage out. Did try to put in a second drive, which didn't work too well, to say the least. And then that slides out. And there's the next problem, which is reconnecting all these drives later. Will be a real pain. Okay, I can get the cables out and that out of the way. We'll have the power rod. Let's see if we can just pull this out of here. And then we have this card here, and I already have put in a CF card reader here, like that. And there are finally the kickstart ROMs. Yay. Okay, so which is high and which is low? You could of course consult the manual. Let me see if this gives us any idea what ROM is where. Interestingly, there seems to be no info on updating the kickstart ROMs. No info whatsoever. So it seems the high ROM is U175, and the low ROM is the other one. Okay, first one's in. The second one is in too. Let's give some power to the floppy drive, and then we can see what we see. So CD-ROM is not connected. It's not a big deal. IDE is connected, and we need power. That should be pretty much all we need for now. Let's see what maybe we should put in the processor card, because without that there is no joy. Okay, let's see. So it does boot into something, and then it just errors out. That could be the memory, which is really flaky in this machine. Let's try again. So we do at least have the right kickstart ROMs. And this boots into Workbench, and then it's just bam, out. And yellow screen. Okay. I also want to try the RAM expansion. If we put this in here, it says front here. Just push it in. Oops. We will see what it does. There's no configuration of any kind here. It's just plain board that we put into this. Let's Let's see what happens. And I think it yellowed out again. I think I will take out all the fast RAM on the board here, and we will go and see from there. Unplug this card here. So the gotta go fast RAM is in here. I will pull this also. And the thing is, this is already cable tied in here. There are little cable ties. Let me show you. So there are these cable ties. I'll have to cut these, and this is the chip RAM. This is the fast RAM. So I will pull these, leave this in. Also says chip RAM written on there. All of this out, leave just the chip RAM in, nice and firm in there. Well, let's try it without that and with the card out. Maybe this helps. Yeah, I think either removing the card or the fast RAM did the trick. Let's try with the controller in, and let's try with the gotta go faster first maybe. Let's put that in. Let's attach a mouse. Then I can use Amiga test kit on that, and we can see what we see. If there is actually fast RAM in there. Okay. So I can even use my old SD card, which is nice, or CF card. As games. Did I not put... Oh, let me get test kit. And we have memory. 128 megs of fast RAM. Nice. Test all memory seems to be a bit of a stretch here. Yeah, it's been a while. I think I will just skip that. So no errors detected up till now, which seems to be nice. I would say this is working pretty good. Okay, so I don't need these fast RAM modules and this kickstart, and now I can go and put this back together. One thing I want to do is to try and put in... Should I put in a GoTech? I could, but should I? Will I? Do I? May I? I may. And let's try putting the controller card back in. Maybe that makes a difference. So let's see if this still works. It does boot into Workbench. Can do stuff. Yeah, so it was definitely the fast RAM, which is the culprit here. Which I don't really care about, because now I have some cool 128 meg fast RAM on here. So let's try putting in a GoTech in this, and then I have a GoTech in this. And before we do this, let's put in the Falcon. The Falcon. The Falcon. I have no idea if it works, so we'll just plug it in and see what it does. Small problem, this Falcon card does protrude out of the case. It's hard to see. It's just a few millimeters, and I would have to cut this. And it's okay on this side, but it protrudes out on this side. So that is really shitty. Pretty sure the case won't close with this in. So out goes the Falcon. Okay, no Falcon for me. Not a big deal. more of an eagle type anyway. Let's put this back in. We put this in the top position. Put that slot bracket in. So we didn't need the M.2 SSD or the SATA adapter because, well, CF card works perfectly fine. And we have to put the Gotek in. I need a Gotek first. Let's first try if the Gotek actually works in here. Oh, I think it's booting from the Gotek. Guess he got into test kit because, oh no, it's actually Workbench and booted from hard disk. Oh, okay. So the Gotek works, which is good, but there's nothing on the display, which is not so great. Not sure what happened there. But the question is, why is there nothing on the screen? So let's open this up. It all looks good. We have to switch out the display. Seems to be broken. There's nothing else I can see that could have happened. Maybe it didn't take the hot glue too well. I hot glued this in here because this did work, if I'm not completely mistaken. So let's try a different display. Okay, let's see if we get anything on this screen. Yeah, that works. That is good. That is very good. Not sure if it did anything. Let's check. So I did fix the screen. Now the question is, does this work as drive DF0? And for that, I have to grab the drive cage, put the other drive in again. Very, very sketchy here. I can't see anything. Sorry about that. And we have to connect this to this. No idea if it works. Let's check it out. Seems to boot, but nothing. Let's grab a disk to check if there's anything, if it's at least seeing DF0. DF0 unreadable. That's not good. Maybe I shouldn't place it on the power supply. Let's try that again from a different angle. Let's put this here. Let's try this again. Nope, doesn't like the disk. So let's go and let's jumper this to DF1 or SO1 or S1 or whatever this is called, which is putting the jumper on the second position. Let's see if it works now. Ah, now it's booting. Okay, so do we see our drives? DF0, DF1. Yeah, it actually seems to work. Okay, let's boot into Workbench from hard disk and let's see if we see two drives and if we can actually access these disks. That would be nice. Okay, there's our glow icons on the Gotek. And now let's see if we insert a disk into 0. Ah. Okay. I think that is my future configuration. Awesome. Well, let me put this Gotek properly in here. And then we go and we try the SCSI controller, and we still have to figure out how to get the CD audio working. So I did not give up on the fast RAM stuff. This is just sitting here. Never mind. I have this 128 megabyte fast RAM card, but I still want to use these sticks here, and so I did put 2 in the working slots of the motherboard, and identified that this one here seems to be dead because the machine wouldn't boot with it. Yeah, now I have the 8 megs on the board fast RAM, 2 megs of chip RAM, and 128 megs of this gotta go faster card. I also went and I did file down, you can see it a little here, this card, so that might now fit in here. We'll try that. I found out how to connect the CD audio, which is, let me show you. So you have these 4 pins here, but you only need 3. As you can see, there's a ground and the two audio pins. What you have to do is you have to build a little adapter, because on the board there is CN404 back here behind the audio connectors, and that is a 3-pin connector, and it has left, ground, right next to each other. So I will just take 3 DuPont connectors and put them in there and then make a new connector out of that. What else? I need a new battery, CR2032, because that one was not completely dead but deadish. But first let me show you. I did let the machine run on the 8 megs of fast RAM, and machine doesn't crash like before, so that's good. So here's my little adapter cable, just 3 DuPonts connected like this to a 3 connection, and adapting from this here, or interfacing from this, and then we're good to connect. So yeah, we'll just plug it in like this and we'll see. Let's put in the battery in. Okay, grab the disc. This is Led Zeppelin How the West Was Won compilation. Take disc 1 and put it in the drive. I managed to install the CD-ROM drive using my Idefix, and it's a tendon drive, or so it seems. And here's the installer, and there should be play CD, and we should hear something. I don't hear anything. Could be the capture device. Let's use some external speakers just to make sure it's not the capture device. So there doesn't seem to be coming any sound out of this, which is not great. Let's check if we have any sound. Not sure if I have ever heard any sound out of this. Let's try. Yeah, that works. Okay, so it's not that. So it's connected to the drive, and this connects to the CN4. I'm not sure if you have to actually activate this somehow. I can't see where. Okay, so this cable only goes in one way. Not sure why it doesn't work. This drive is from March 1994. I measured this cable and it actually works perfectly fine, and it has complete continuity. So this should work. So I assume that just the software doesn't work. Because the cable sure does. So I will leave the CD audio for now and try to get this SCSI controller working in here. Got it in. Well, let's see what it does. See. Okay, it's showing me engine board diagnostics, and it says 02 bad. Yeah, that doesn't feel too well. Okay, so there seems to be some configuration needed. Okay, so I will not be using this SCSI controller. This is the second time I tried this. I think it is still protruding outside the case here. So it doesn't make sense to invest more time right now. Yeah, so this board doesn't seem to be too happy. It's not much on here. I mean, it could be the drive. There's one jumper missing. Not sure if this has to be populated. And we have termination power here, and we have some dip switches here. So I may take the drive off and see if that changes anything. And I remember you have to actually put power in here to get the drive working. Maybe this is a problem. Wait. We will try this again. this time with power. Let's see what happens if there's no drive attached, if it works then. No, it's still bad. Okay, let's try with power to that and with a drive plugged back in. Oop. Spins up. But did it help with the diagnostics? Does not seem so. So it does spin up, it doesn't give us a bad anything, just doesn't work. Okay, I'm giving up on this for now. I've invested enough time in this, I think. So, to make this official, I don't like this card. Sorry. I just don't. So let's see if everything still works as it should. Ah, there we are. Okay, that took a minute. Slightly shocked. Okay, disk drive. Also still works, nice. I'm now just waiting for the flicker fixer and then we are done with this. But I would like to get this CD audio working. So this is the configuration now. 8 megs of fast RAM on the board, 128 on the gotta go faster, 2 megs chip RAM, AT bus IDE controller that connects the CD-ROM and the gotta go faster board. Pretty happy with this. Yeah, let's wait for the flicker fixer. Okay, because I'm just setting up new studio stuff, I have to film this handheld. And I did get my flicker fixer finally. Took over a week to come here. And when I plugged it in, it just gave me crap. And then I noticed, isn't there something missing? And yes, the crystal is missing. And there are a few other components here and over here that seem to be missing. And someone just took them off the board and sold this as working, which is a very shitty move. So I spare you the whole put it in the 4000, take it out of the 4000, and yeah. I had a few monitors which I wanted to use, and I did land on this one right here, which I had on my Amiga 3000, which is currently not working. And to get this working, because this is not a 15 kilohertz monitor, it's a VGA monitor, I had to buy this, the gbs-c. And I paid 80. You can get this for 60 in China, but it would take another, well, 2 weeks, which I don't want to invest. And now I have flicker-free high-res VGA on my 4000. And yeah, this was a black monitor initially. I did just paint it in the correct color. So this is this eggshell white. You can see that I'm currently at DBL PAL, and these DBL things should be 31 kilohertz. I'm not sure if they are. They could then work without the scan doubler, theoretically. So by the way, this is a very cheap kind of scan doubling thing. It's one of these cheapo $29 video converters which you can use for consoles, and they updated this with a bit of more firmware and stuff like that. I'm currently running at 1280 by 1024, and that seems to do the trick. And I just go in here from the 4000 and go out here, VGA to VGA, and it scan doubles it, and all is good. And I have 64 colors here, because if I go to 256, this is just slow as hell. And yeah, that is my screen mode, 640 by 512. It's perfect. Screen is perfect for this here. And if I start worthy here, you can see that it just works perfectly fine. Well, this looks just great. If you take a closer look, this pixel perfect, super sharp. Very happy with this. As I said, you can get this gbs-c for about 60. I will put a link to AliExpress in the description, and it works. You can also put in RGB, by the way, or SCART. and output HDMI if you like. I use VGA to VGA, which is, well, just scan doubling. And it works. Still haven't tried the keyboard yet. It will be interesting to see if it works. I have attached a 2000 keyboard with this fancy €2 adapter. Let's see if it actually works. New test kit, keyboard, and yeah, works just fine. Keyboard is a bit dirty, but I have my 3000 keyboard, which I can use here. And I will clean this, of course, because now it actually has a purpose, serving me as a keyboard for my 4000, which is nice. So let's do a final sys info before I show you the finished machine. So we know that we have loads of memory. Let's beat this. And it's slow. Why is it so slow? That's not fast RAM, that's slow RAM. Hello? Why is it so slow? Or do we just have to include the 040 things in the workbench because I didn't have that before? Maybe that is it. Let's try sysinfo from disk. Okay, let's do this again. 1.02 times the speed of an A4000. I like that. Okay, so I have to include the 68040 libraries in my workbench install to actually make use of the 040, or else it won't work. And the sysinfo bootable disk seems to have that already checked out. Okay, good to know. Yeah, so I think this concludes this. Wait, you will want to see the finished machine.
Thank you for watching Retro is the New Black. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the video, please share. Every like, share, and comment helps a lot. Until next time, bye-bye.